My point on Survivor is not to win $1 million. I want to win 1 million hearts. That's more important to me. Banu. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. First off, and maybe this is just me, but I generally don't like my Survivor contestants to be folks that have no interest in, winning the game. Like, totally fine if you say it's not about the money, but you need to have an unquenchable thirst for victory. That should be attribute number one for every player that goes through the Survivor casting process. Also, not to nitpick on Banu, because I generally do like the guy, but saying you want to go on Survivor to win 1 million hearts is a bit odd, no? So you're saying you only came on the show to be popular? Do we have a future influencer in our midst? I'm not saying you need to show up on Survivor and play that same cliche, "I'm not here to make friends" song, but if your chief concern is being loved, then I'm not sure you're on the right show. I'm also not sure if you are on the right show if your tribe mates are saying things like, "He doesn't have a strategic bone in his sweet little body," and "He has a passion for the game, but he doesn't understand the game." About you.it sounds like I am dissing and dismissing Banu, but I have said it before and will say it again. I have been loving what an absolute mess the Yanu tribe has been. Jalinksi, Jess, and Banu will go down in reality TV history as the true holy trinity of cocky, kooky, and self-proclaimed wackadoodle. And I can't help but be entertained by their hijinks. I mean, have we ever seen a tribe so obsessed with Kenny Rogers lyrics? Or one that had an actual mermaid dragon on it, for that matter? Watching Banu on Survivor has been like watching a horror movie in real time. You know that character in the film that inevitably suggests, "Hey, we should probably split up," and you're like, "Fool, you will get murdered. Do not split up." Watching Banu play Survivor is kind of like watching that guy. You don't want his literal or proverbial torch to get snuffed, but the man just makes it so easy for it to happen. Q is right. Banu is a massive Survivor fan, yet seems to have no clue how to play Survivor. Q essentially told Banu that he was his Philip Shepard, and Banu was like, "Cool, let's do this." And I don't know in what universe it was a good idea for Banu to tell Ben and Liz everything happening on his tribe, because if I were Ben and Liz after that epic spillage, would I feel confident trusting Banu with anything? No, I would not. Banu spilled so much he needed the bounty quicker picker-upper lady to follow his every footstep of that journey. He also straight up collapsed on the sand at that journey. Again, maybe not the best look, but for those complaining that Banu has no right to be on this show, and that casting swung and missed on him, I could not disagree more. Because Banu has been the perfect chaos agent in the game. Survivor has been infiltrated by an army of masterful players of late who have studied the game and are determined to play, and often overplay, from the moment they step on the beach. But the key to a successful Survivor season is balance, and having folks that are really bad at the game can be equally entertaining. Island time travel. Survivor has gone a bit Tarantino the past few seasons by experimenting with non-linear storytelling and showing things after they happened, but it's usually pretty soon after the fact. And it is usually as a flashback coming after someone has revealed some news in a confessional interview to show you how something went down. So seeing Sega 4 days ago at the bottom of the screen to lead into our Sega camp footage of the week was still pretty jarring. I mean, not as jarring as Banu crumbling to his knees on the journey in front of two relative strangers, but jarring nonetheless. The hunter becomes the hunter. I ain't gonna lie or downplay it. Going out on location for Survivor is fun. You get to go up to the tribal council voting booth and comically put the name of your biggest enemy, or, your own kids, on a parchment. You get to run a challenge. And, perhaps best of all, you can walk around the Survivor art department, which has all manner of props and challenge pieces just kind of laying around everywhere. They even have a challenge graveyard, where they stick large pieces until they can be used again or repurposed into something else. It's magical, and I've never seen another place like it. Until I saw Hunter's Room. A barrel of fun. I don't know if we've seen this full exact challenge before, however all the elements, jump in the water, go through obstacles, dig something up, land sandbags on targets, have certainly been there. But let's be honest, it's all about the barrel. Everyone knows the best use of a barrel is when some unlucky sap is forced to wear one, complete with suspenders holding it up for old-timey comedic effect. Speaking of which, did you know that the origins of the barrel costume date back to England and Germany in the 18th and 19th centuries when drunks were forced to stand in the town square wearing barrels as some warped implementation of public mockery punishment? What a super weird form of discipline. You have hereby been convicted of a heinous crime. Now go look hilarious. Kicking rocks. After the challenge, Ben, Liz, and Banu were sent on a journey where they had to pull rocks to see who would have an emotional meltdown, and then pull rocks again to see who would spill all their tribe's secrets, and then pull rocks again to see who get back on a boat and not have to risk their vote for an advantage. Liz pulled the white rock on the last one, leaving Ben and Banu to fail at forming a cube puzzle and losing their next tribal council votes. The coach almost quits on his team. I get that elite athletes want to take the blame when they don't perform in big spots rather than putting it on someone else. It's noble and it's admirable. That said, we were looking at some prime survivor knuckleheadery here when Q told his allies to vote him out of the game for losing the challenge, not for Yanu. Probst must have been experiencing some serious emotional whiplash going from the despair of Nami to the celebration of Yanu. But hey, that's nothing a certified guru can't handle. Speaking of that guru, I connected with the Hostmaster General to get the full behind-the-scenes scoop on Randon's medical evacuation. I also asked, could Randon have passed off his advantage to Venus before leaving the beach? Find out what the host has to say about that. Speaking of nifty bonus content, we also asked the entire Survivor 46 cast what their biggest pet peeves are, and some of them are so oddly specific that you are going to absolutely love it. That is my promise to you. Oh, and did you know a huge storm ripped through camp on night 6? I did, because we have an exclusive deleted scene which shows what exactly went down, so keep your eyes peeled for that as well as our exit interview with the medevaced Randon. That should hold you until next week, when I will have another scoop of the crispy ready and waiting.